Hello, hello. It is Kardashian here. Oh my gosh. I got a hair in my eye with another video. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. I welcome you with open arms. Please subscribe or follow me, whatever platform you're on. I get all day, we hit all kinds of topics. We get tea, we get news, we get political, we get just spiritual, anything. So right now, one of the topics that I'm touching base on is shadow work, your inner child work. I'm sorry, I just got this wig, okay? And let's just say, I kind of like it, it's kind of cute from afar, but I'm not really feeling the roots. It's synthetic anyways, right? So, but anyways, the shadow side in culture and religion is what I'm kind of hitting on this series. And just looking at the things that are in the news but for example, with Diddy. Like Diddy, and not only Diddy, but a lot of the people in the music industry that are denying who they are, part of their identity. Like, you know, this one guy, Jonathan Hayes, I have him in one of my videos. He comes through and he talks about, you know, it is Truth Be Told or something like that. Truth is channel, the interview. You know, he left because he said everybody was gay or bisexual. Who cares? See, that's the part of the dark side. There's a dark side and a light side to absolutely everything. And they have to find what makes you shameful as best they can. Shame you on things. Sometimes the dark side of religion is they shame you. They shame you on what they consider to be sins. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with loving whoever you love or desire at that time. Period. It's totally fine. But we have demonized it. We have made it, don't tell anybody. Oh my God. Especially if you're a man. Especially if you're a man, and I'm talking real man in a whole global sense, you know. There's a lot of cultures that men have to be macho, and if they're with another man or laying with another man, you know, they're not as macho, they're not as much of a man. Get out of here. Really, seriously. And what made you judge and jury? That's all I've got to say. But back to what the shadow side. There's a shadow side to everything. Like a shadow side to our culture. You know, like, you know, we want people to have a family, get married, have a big wedding, get a house, get a husband, get a husband, get a big wedding, get a house, have kids, have your minivan, then have like go away on your vacations, and then you live whatever, you get your grandkids and everything like that, and you have this path to success. No. We don't have to be defined by that. You can do what you want to do, beat to your own drum, however you want to. And it's great. If it's good for you, it's good for the gander, right? But again, shadow work, again, is pulling out things that have triggered you, things that you need to work through as that hurt you. An event, it could be an event, it could be anything that hurt you, an embarrassment or whatever. Maybe you're bisexual and you're denying yourself that you like whatever you like, and that you don't always swing one way. You're kind of like flexible, like a palm tree. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And our culture and also religion has taught you that it's wrong, immoral, and a sin. It's neither. It's not immoral and it's not a sin, especially if that's what's good for you. You know, being true to yourself. Do not deny your feelings of how you like both men and women, and or you don't like anybody. You're you know, you have no binary or whatever binary is. What's a binary? But anyways, and then, you know, religion gives you all these rules, and they tell you if you don't follow them, you're going to go to this. And if you do follow them, you're going to go here. You're going to be so happy. And then once you do it, you're like done. You're done. you know? Again, I'm looking at the news itself all over the world, like, you know, the way certain women are treated in certain countries, Dubai being one of them, you know, Saudi Arabia being another, you know, in the Middle East, where some of the horror stories of women. My goal is to help women that are trying to escape that need help. I want to help women one day to escape. Especially, I'm not saying all of it is bad, but some of the arranged marriages I read about are like, oh my heavens, they're horrible. And then the parents don't want them, and then they call it a shame, you know, and it's okay, it's legal. A shame, you know. Bring them here. They need to come here to America or somewhere where they're not thought as less than an animal, quite frankly. So yeah, I want to help them, and I want to help prison reform. I want to help people after they get out of jail get a job, because I know how hard it is, and there's a lot of stress and anxiety because you have a record. So I want to help people. I would like to help people. I need to do prison reform. That it's not on the record anymore. I mean, yeah, a cop can get it, cop can see it, but it's not fair. They did their time. Why is it still following them? Why is it, you know, why are they defined by that? And why is it going to destroy, like, so much of their life? So I want to do prison reform. I'm for prison reform, and also helping women who are powerless, who are abused and treated less than. Yeah, so I'm kind of going on a tangent a little bit, but, you know, I mean, and again, you know, you talk about the different religions, and you can go over the ones. You can look at Catholic, you can look at, you know, you're shamed, you know, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you know, again, and you get shamed, and whatever, you know, it's pretty horrible. It's pretty horrible. But anyway, so there's a dark side, but there is a good side to religion too. You know, sometimes it really does help a lot of people. You know, it does help a lot of people in many, many ways, especially if they're suffering or mourning or they need help. Churches are really, you know, there's a lot of there's good and bad in everything. Let's face it, right? Good and bad in everything. So this kind of goes into African mythology, it goes into Islam, it goes into a ton of stuff. So, you know, just realizing, again, the good and evil in everything. And that's why you have to get, and when you realize that absolutely everything out there has what we would consider to be, you got to shed all that. You got to shed, kind of deprogram yourself out of your religious belief or whatever your belief. I'm just using mine. I had a religious fear, more so than, you know, because Catholic. I was raised Catholic. And it was like, okay, if you did this, you went to hell. If you did this, you can't get a divorce, can't use contraception. Old school Catholic. Old school Catholic. So you have to deprogram yourself. It works for some, not for all. I do believe in God. I do. I really do. But I don't necessarily believe in the things of the Catholic Church. But I definitely do think there's a lot of great qualities to any church. There's good and bad in everything, like I just said before. So again, we're talking about, like, this is like about the shadow self and working on your shadow self, your inner child. And I'm using Carl Jung's concepts to, let's bring it out. Like, let's bring what you've been suffering for years for. Talk about it, write it down, work through it. You weren't wrong. And if you got to cry about it, you got to do whatever. You got to seek a therapist. You do whatever you need to do. And your shadow, you can learn a lot by your shadow. You really can. And not bad things. You can't lie to your shadow. Ever hear it saying, only the shadow knows? That's right. Can't lie to your shadow. So now is the time to work on your inner child, your inner you, what triggers you, what makes you, you know, anxious. So then you can live a happy life. And then if you you start to feel like that again, you know the tools to bring yourself back, to work on, hey, you know, talk to yourself, right? We talked about talking to your spirit. It's a big thing for me. So you got to find what works for you. So again, this is my little series on shadow work, inner child. Follow me, subscribe. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'll see you on the next video.